I like this software.
Oh yeah, you like this better than StreamYard?
I think so. It is far easier to work with, I think.
Mm.
But I believe we are live now. So happy Saturday. Welcome, everybody.
Hello,
Welcome
hello,
to the
hello.
first live episode of Nightmares and Nerdscapes, where I've been able to potentially under duress pull an old friend of mine back over to my channel, Miss Jen from Queens of Nerddom.
Hello.
So we are dipping into a little something called 21st century horror, focused on the magnanimous, the highly talented, mildly neurotic Nicolas Cage. So it should be a good show. Uh, it's always funny to me because like when I start talking movies with people, they'll always be like, what's the craziest movie you've ever seen, or like, who's the most over the top actor you know of? And of course, for me, my mind automatically goes to Stallone. But then when they tell me that they're tired of my bullshit jokes, Nicolas Cage is always the next one up.
This should be the go-to one, I think.
I think so. All right, let's as soon as I figure out this stuff, let's kick this thing off, and here we go.
Word.
And good old software. Says I can share it. Clicking to share it.
This presentation is rated M for mediocre. Discretion is advised.
I am the most technically illiterate IT guy in the history of podcasting.
Button. Who's got the button?
So apparently, I do not know a USB from a fucking hole in the ground, but it's all right. It's all right. So, getting into things. First off, Miss Jen, happy to see you. Glad you could stop by.
Always.
Always happy to have you, and I hope we do this quite a few more times here in the future. But as is tradition on the majority of the DFPN channels, cheers, madam.
Cheers.
We will call this one to let's go to George Foreman and David Lynch. Two greats that we lost. David Lynch we lost back in February, and Big George this week. So thoughts to all the little Georges and I believe Georginas were his daughter's names through their time.
That sucks.
It's a rough one. But
I know. I saw that and I was like, no way.
That dude has been around as far like most people grew up with. Well, I don't want to say most people, but a lot of folks grew up with Ali. For me, by the time Muhammad Ali was old enough for me to know who he was already in a wheelchair, I think, or close. But I actually got to see Foreman fight, which was cool. He had no business doing it, but he did it, so I can say I saw it. But all right. So, Nicolas Cage. What do you know about Mr. Nicolas Cage, Jen? Other than he is.
What do I know about him?
Crazy. Yeah, give me a 3-word description of Nicolas Cage as an actor.
Oh God, he's just over the top, dude. It's too much. Way
too much. Always too much.
The majority of the time, yeah. At least when he's doing the shitty movies, Like when he actually does a good movie and he has a director where like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like
That's
just act the part. Do this.
like his uncle.
Yeah, because I mean he can act and he can definitely do like a good movie.
Mhm.
If you have a director that's like pulling on the choke chain, like, stop it, Nick, stop it.
And that's the problem.
But I will say, even though I'm probably gonna slaughter him most of the night with my disgust of a lot of the like crap movies that he's done. One thing I will say, so I know that he did get in a lot of trouble with real estate. I do remember that. I mean, this dude, really, you had to buy not one but two ancient castles in England.
I mean, when you're shooting to play Dracula in like 2021, you got to do the.
They didn't even use that castle. But
That's true.
Fair point.
That's true.
So the thing I can say about Nick Cage is that he didn't file for bankruptcy.
Yep.
And supposedly the reason why he's done all these crappy movies, where at this point, if there's a movie that kind of comes across his desk, he takes it, is to pay off his debt.
Yep.
And I have mad respect for that.
I agree. Yeah, he does. He does movies like Willie Nelson does tours.
Yeah.
And
so I have respect for yeah, just for that alone. I respect him for that. Yep. That he didn't, be like, oh, I know he's not worth nearly as much as he was now, but I'm sure as I like dog on him tonight, he's like drying his tears with like the $100 bill and everything. Like, I mean, the man is significantly more wealthy than I am, but I'm just saying, like, he got in a lot of trouble and owed a lot of taxes and everything. But mad props to you for, digging your heels in, doing shit that you probably really didn't want to do, but good on you. Yep. I see you, Nick.
So I'm kind of hoping that while we're talking, he's in James Gunn's office shooting for that Superman role. Did you see the test footage of him in that suit?
Don't you dare.
Are you kidding?
Dude, did you know that he passed on Aragorn in Lord of the Rings?
I did. That's all right with me, because we got a history of violence shortly after.
Yeah, because I remember reading that before, and I'm like, and since we were talking about Nick Cage tonight, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember about that. Like he almost got Aragorn, like Peter Jackson offered it to, and I'm like, well, you guys saved a franchise, literally. Like Viggo Morrison was perfect. I loved it. Anyways,
well, I was shocked. I was doing a little bit of research into him, which of course he's been around my entire life. Literally my entire life. His first movie was Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He played one of Judge Reinhold's co-workers that were released in 82. I was released in 82. So literally every year of my life, this dude has pretty much put a movie out. And it's crazy to see like him go from really slapstick comedies, right, with Fast Times and stuff like that, to Guarding Tess and Honeymoon in Vegas. Jesus, he played Elvis, which
I
didn't even remember him playing Elvis. I thought it was Kurt Russell and then Austin Butler. I didn't remember anybody between doing it. And then Leaving Las Vegas, which was a huge movie in the late 90s. He actually had a Golden Globe for that one. Should have gotten an Oscar. That's great.
I thought he got an Oscar for that.
I don't think he did. I think he deserved it. But I think he just got the Golden Globe. Let's see how the Google Foo works while we talk. But
I just remember the Raising Arizona.
He did get Best Actor in '96. Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know he's won at least one Oscar. Yeah. There's like at least one Oscar.
Maybe it was Moonstruck with Cher that he got the Golden Globe, but not the Oscar.
Might have been. I mean, he's won awards. That's what I mean. Like he's picking crappy movies to.
Yeah, he has for quite a while. Luckily, out of a 43-year career, we only have to talk about the last 25. which makes
good.
me feel outrageously old to know that we're 25 years into the 21st century.
It's okay.
I was born in the late 1900s.
Yeah. I took a horse to school. Horse and a wagon.
I did
Mm-hmm.
for one day every year,
Mm-hmm.
and a tractor for another, because it was country, not country, country.
There's a difference.
There's a difference. All right. So getting back to Nick Cage and away from my weird childhood, he has done some really interesting stuff in the last 25 years, especially in horror. And for whatever reason, he picks the weirdest possible horror scripts to be in. I think the only movie on this list that I looked at and was like, that's pretty normal, was actually Longlegs, as weird as that sounds. It was like, that's the only one of these movies that felt like it could actually happen. Barring the last,
what do you mean, actually?
Barring the last, 15 minutes.
Oh, you mean like the serial killer kind of
kidnapping kids
aspect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It that's the only one out of these that I didn't look at. I'm like, there's no fucking way. Like, there are some crazy ass movies on this list.
There really are.
All right, so we'll go through them real quick. So we've got 10 total that we sat down, we watched through. We're going to be ranking these best to worst. Well, worst to best is how we're going to go through them, just because we're greedy and we want you to stay until the end. But we got 10 movies that we watched, and we both ranked them 1 through 10, and then I took an average of that, and that's what's going to be our quote-unquote official Nicolas Cage ranking. Very scientific.
Oh, Nick.
Because I had Excel do the math. So I think we'll be good. But
it's a scientific quotient.
So we're going to be looking at Mandy, Arkadian, Mom and Dad, The Wicker Man, Renfield, Color Out of Space, Longlegs, and Prisoners of Ghostland and Pay the Ghost, which are his two, I think those are the two movies that he did in China, if I remember correctly. Pay the Ghost might not be, but the rest of Prisoners of Ghostland was absolutely a Chinese film. I think he followed Van Damme over there to do some Hong Kong action films to make some extra scratch, but gotta make it somewhere, and if Hollywood ain't calling.
Bangkok Dangerous movie.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, he did like 2 or 3, I think, with some of the movie studios based out of Beijing.
Yeah,
they weren't great.
I missed that one. Oh, I'm so sorry.
They weren't great.
I have 2 extra hours on you then that I didn't waste my life watching that.
Fair enough. Pay the Ghost is actually an interesting premise. I'll give it that. It's just shitty in execution.
So I remember when Pay the Ghost came out. Is this the first one we're doing?
Yes, actually, because it is number 10.
Okay.
This is our lowest. We apparently hate this film.
Actually, I didn't hate it. It was just, so I remember the reason why I didn't particularly care for this film too much. Like, it wasn't a bad film. I just remember that this is when it dawned on me that kidnapping kids in films hits different after you become a parent.
Yes.
So this was one of the first movies that I watched where I was a mom. And I remember watching this and I like pit in my stomach. Like I just like couldn't. No, I don't like this movie. This movie sucks. So
2015. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't put the numbers together. Yeah.
Yeah. So, had a little one, probably had another little one on the way. No, we might have had, the middle one already. But But I remember watching it, and these movies definitely hit different, like when you actually have a kid, because before, like, you don't have a kid, like, oh man, it sucks, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Like when you're watching it, like you're about ready to punch the fucking screen. You're like, bitch, you better bring the kid back.
Yep.
So, I didn't think it was bad. I think the ending was where they kind of lost me. I like the fact that the little kids and kind of came and got their revenge on the ghost woman who was taking children. And they finally got to go to the afterlife, so it was a happy ending. But I just I think that there was just something missing in it that I can't I don't think I could really put my finger on. It just wasn't I guess there wasn't the supernatural stuff, just wasn't enough for me, maybe is what it was. If you're gonna go pay the ghost and do supernatural stuff, go big. But I guess I could have used a little more. Sometimes there's too subtle. That's one of my gripes about Game of Thrones is you could have did a little bit more magic. Just saying.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, Game of Thrones. I mean, the first scene that pops out of my head with Game of Thrones is Cersei and her brother in the tower. So I don't know that subtle is a term I would apply, but I get what you're saying.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, overall, I don't think Pay the Ghost is a terrible movie. It's kind of one of those one and done. I watched it, I'm done. It's not something I would go back and revisit.
Yeah, for me, it was forgettable. Is the biggest issue that I had with it. There wasn't anything that stuck with me. In fact, when I first put it on the list and started thinking through it, the only scene I remember is the mid credits scene where the mom wakes up and looks like she's possessed. And
oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
I didn't give a shit enough about your first story. Why are you trying to hook me with a potential sequel that never came? I mean, what did it repay the ghost? It
it's tax work. Time. It's taxes.
Right.
Pay the ghost.
Rebate the ghost.
Yes, it's taxes.
E-file the ghost.
But yeah,
I don't want to talk about taxes right now. It's that time of year. All right, so that one we've actually. So I ranked that at 9, and you ranked that one at 7.
So yeah,
came out with an average of. Yeah, which isn't bad. We don't have anything here lower than a 2 if we were doing a 1 through 10 scale.
I mean,
they're not great, but and also keep in mind we're ranking them 1 to 10, right? So even though it shows up as 10 on this list, doesn't mean it's a 2.5 or a 3. This could be a 3, 2.5 star movie, which I think is probably right. I didn't mind watching it, but it didn't do anything so great or so offensive that I'm really leaning either way. Just forgettable.
Got it.
All right, so Prisoners of the Ghostland came in at number 9, and I don't remember a damn thing about this movie.
No.
I do not. When I was putting the list together, I wanted to make sure that I did my best to make sure it was something that we had both seen. Prisoners of Ghostland, I remember seeing. I remember the act of going to see it. Well, sitting down to see it. But I don't remember anything about this damn movie.
Really? So the things that I remember from this movie is that, first of all, you really I don't think Japanese culture and Western culture, as far as Westerns and cowboys, should be mixed. Just my personal opinion. Just doesn't. It's like having ramen and making it Southwestern. Let's just not do that, okay? Just my
Southwestern egg rolls.
Nope, not a fan.
Oh, that's just un-American.
It's fine. You can disown me. I don't mind. And it's just so you've got these samurai that are wielding swords, and you've got cowboys with guns, and then you've got these geisha women like walking around with cell phones, and like the governor talks in like this really, really like thick, like almost like Southern accent, and it is just like, and I remember the way like the movie was like. Again, the older I get, the more I appreciate like good editing in a movie.
Yeah.
And there was just like, yeah, the editing sucked. The story sucked.
Yep.
I think he ended up getting like one of his testicles blown off.
I mean, it happens, I guess.
Was that a moment of silence for the night?
It was. I mean, you know, sometimes you just gotta,
for the boys that fell.
you got to send one up per half sack. You know what I mean?
But yeah, if honestly, like the only reason I gave it the number that I did was just because I don't really remember this movie. I remember parts of it, but then I was just like, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
I didn't realize it came out in 2021. I thought it was older than that.
I thought it was too, actually.
I was thinking it came out before Pay the Ghost, actually. But yeah, it's fairly recent.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Surprised me.
Well, my perception of time is
We're parents, skewed. And we're not getting any younger. So
sure.
I'm not getting any younger. I can't say that to you. That would be offensive.
It's true.
But all right, so number 9. I think the rest of these movies, the vast majority of them, will probably have a little bit more to say than these last. So number 9 ended up being The Wicker Man, which to me is a weird one, right? So The Wicker Man could be in the top 4
for the worst ones.
If you didn't approach it as horror. If you approached his version of The Wicker Man, not the 1970s one, that one's a damn classic and it's terrifying.
Approach it like a drama.
If you approach this as a comedy, it's a 4-star movie. It's hilarious.
Oh my God.
If you go in and sit down and watch this drunk with like 3 or 4 of your friends, we should do this one weekend, actually. It is hilarious. Fuck, the bees, not the bees. Like,
dude.
It's funny as shit. It is Nick Cage at his maniacal best.
Yeah.
But it's a shit horror movie.
Well, and my thing is, it's like, I didn't even remember seeing like the original Wicker Man. And I remember I started watching this and I was like, I automatically, and I'm not one of those people that likes to like deduce kind of what's going on. Sometimes it just happens naturally. And it happened naturally in this one. Like I was watching it and I'm like, I felt like General Akbar. I'm like, it's a trap. It's a trap, Nick. It's a trap. Yeah. And they all the women there were just not very good at like lying at all. They're just like, you know, they'd always have these like slip ups and it was almost like, oops. And I'm like,
well, that's kind of the point, right? So like what's that?
No, I was just like, anybody see that? See her slip up?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's just, for me, that kind of, I thought that was part of the point of it. Not that they did it well by any stretch, which is why I think it's hilarious. But, you know, their whole goal is to find somebody that's, you know, quote unquote pure, right? Like he's a virgin and all, he's a cop, all this other shit that makes him this, you know, virtuous man. And then he gets it at the end, really, because he doesn't know how to talk to women. Like, he's just fucking clueless. He doesn't know a vagina from a hole in the ground. Like, he's just... An apple pie, would that be a better modern reference? Or that movie's probably too old now, huh?
Okay, probably, yeah.
Shit. I'll find another vagina analogy.
I know. Early 2000s stuff. No. Yeah, it was passable. It's like one of those one and done. Like, yeah, I saw it, but I think that was one of the ones where like the original is way better, and sometimes you just can't. The remakes can't top the original. So
Oh, I agree with that. The original 70s Wicker Man is a classic for good
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
This one just cracks me up.
Yeah.
If I'm drinking and this comes on TV, I'll watch it.
Yeah. But
Also, don't have regular TV anymore, so the chances of that happening are
me
less
neither.
than zero. So
Me neither. I know. So thanks. All right, what's next?
So now, Mom and Dad came in at 8, which is, I feel like this one is, I don't remember who directed it, but it felt like a really shitty combination of like The Visit and, oh hell, I'm spacing. I didn't care for it. I'll put it that way. It was better than the other 3, but this one was not for me. And I love Selma Blair. And I'm higher on Nick Cage than a lot of people, I think. So it had potential. It's just this one, kind of like Prisoners of the Ghostland, really is it's not super memorable for me. This very easily could have been. This was lower than The Wicker Man for me.
Yeah, it just wasn't one that really needed to be done. Like a bunch of parents are murdering their children.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like because of like some weird static on the TV. I'm like,
Cell. That's the movie that's the one I was going searching for a minute ago. Thank you for saying static.
Yeah, no worries.
Even though there was no static in Cell, but still, same thing.
Yeah, it just wasn't like, it just wasn't one that I think anybody would like watch it and like, I don't know. I mean, to me, like one of the reasons why I like horror movies so much, because even if they're terrible, you can laugh at them. But I'm like, this is one of the ones where I'm like, I didn't even laugh. I'm just like,
yeah,
really?
Yep, I was not a fan. But it was good to see Selma Blair on screen again. I don't recall seeing her in a movie. Which, keep in mind, I don't watch anything other than horror movies nowadays because I'm fucking weird.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've seen her in a movie since the Hellboy sequel.
She did a couple of indie movies. She did a couple of indie movies that weren't bad, but I mean, I think there's like some actors, like every once in a while they'll do like a studio movie, but then they go back to indie because you don't have to waste like so many years of your life and coming back for reshoots, and then you have to do like interviews and premieres. Like, I get it. I get that.
Yep.
Hey, some of them rock it. Like, I mean, what's her name? Mika Monroe. Oh my god, I absolutely adore her. And that was one of the things I probably should have talked about with Longlegs. Like, she's amazing. Like, I love all the indie films that she picks. I mean, if she's in it, I watch it.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, Monroe's in there. Let me watch that. And it usually ends up being pretty good.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Her and Naomi Scott, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Somebody who played a Power Ranger in big budget Power Rangers movie for some reason. But yeah, big fan of her stuff, especially after Smile 2. Yeah. Such a good movie.
But I mean, there's some indie actors that, like I said, every once in a while they'll do like a whole studio movie, but then like mostly they stick to indie stuff. And I get it, but I think Mika Monroe is so I don't know if she's like really selective, but they all kind of have like a similar tone, and it's her thing.
Gotcha.
It's her vibe, and I love it. So.
Gotcha. I'm trying to remember what was the last movie she was in? I saw her in something not long ago, and now I can't remember what the hell it was.
I like The Significant Other.
Oh, see, I didn't care for that one.
That. Yeah, you didn't like that one. I love that one. I thought that one was great.
See, I love the Lovecraftianness of it. I like the cosmic horror stuff.
Yeah.
But that one, I loved the first act of that movie. And then after that, I don't know if I got bored or if something happened and it just kind of lost me or what. That was on Paramount, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Paramount.
I didn't hate it, but there's a movie coming up that I think does it far better.
Do tell.
All right, so next on the list we have Arkadian. This is not the movie, by the way. Coming in at number 6. So this one I had as my fourth highest. It came in at 6. So interesting. We've got slightly differing opinions on this one, I think.
I really liked Arkadian.
I was lukewarm on it.
Really? I thought it was great. I'm a big monster horror fan, but please tell me your thoughts.
So for me, I'm a big fan of monster movies as well. But for me, I thought the monsters, what opportunity they had to really show them off, they failed at. And what I mean by that is you had the opportunity through the younger brother to really dig in and kind of explain them a little bit better. Which I think in a movie like this, as opposed to like a significant other, where you don't really need any explanation to why it's doing what it's doing, it just you kind of get it until the end with that movie. With this one, I didn't understand necessarily why they were coming after everybody. Like, they just didn't feel like they had a motive other than just survival.
It's food.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I didn't, they were not my favorite alien mutant zombie things ever. And I didn't like the fact that Nick Cage played a massive role in the marketing for it, but is essentially in a coma for an hour and 15 minutes of the movie. Oh, he was on all the posters. He was in all the trailers. It listed starring Nick Cage.
Yeah.
But he spent most of it in bed. So I went in expecting a movie about the relationship between a father and his sons. And what I ended up getting was a movie about the relationship between two brothers that never really seemed to come to any solid fruition in my mind. Not fruition, but conclusion in my mind.
Okay.
But the special effects were great.
So for me, first of all, the two kids, Maxwell Jenkins, who plays Thomas. So he is the kid from Lost in Space. And it took me a minute when we were watching that movie. I'm sitting there thinking, I know the kid from somewhere. Where are you from? Where are you from? Oh, yeah. So
wait, the older brothers?
Yeah. He's a little kid from Lost in Space. Yeah.
I forgot all about Lost in Space. Okay.
And then Jaden Martell, he is the kid from It. And then if you watched Mr. Harrington's Phone on Netflix, which is a good watch, by the way, just throwing it out there.
Stephen King.
So I really I really like those two young men as actors. I mean, they're just beyond amazing. And then you got Nick Cage in here. Okay. I feel like they had a really good like family dynamic whenever, you had the three of them on screen. Like I did like the fact that, it sucked that Nicolas Cage, was in a coma. Am I really sad about that? I'm not really sure. Jury's still out. But I like how, the brothers kind of came together and, just kind of like, you saw that they actually listened to their dad and they actually learned and they like know how to survive now because of him. And, great father role, he always instilled in them what was important and how to survive. And he did that. Did I ever tell you that the director said the aliens are based off of Goofy?
No, but that's awesome.
Right. And you can see it, right? Like and once you go look at the aliens, he's like, oh yeah, kind of like loosely modeled them after Goofy. And then I'm like, I had to go back and watch the movie again. I was like, oh shit, my God, it's crazy. But anyways, I did like the monsters. I thought they were kind of cool. Yeah, if you look at them, the monsters are kind of cool. Yeah. I did like the fact that I don't know if it was on purpose. It was like a cool little like early 90s throwback to Critters, how they all like bunched together and started like tumbling like after people and everything. I love that.
Little Critters 2, 3.
Yeah, and yeah. No, they did it in 1.
I thought they just traveled solo in 1.
I'm pretty sure they jumped together, or is it 2?
I don't know. I need to do a rewatch of that franchise because a new one came out not long ago.
Yeah, but I really like that that as well. I thought the ending was good. It was a good wrap up. I mean, not like totally like that was a good ending. I was like, all right, that's not a bad ending. Like, I'll take that. Kind of felt bad for the young girl about her parents, but then again, at the same time, her parents were a bunch of dicks, so kind of had that come in. And but something I had to like back up and watch a couple of times is like when they actually like captured her mom, and she was like being like digested or something. I was like, oh, that was gross. I'm really sure. Like, how does that make sense? Like you're like as an alien, like I'm just like, fuck, I'm just gonna eat this, and then you're like vulnerable. You're like digesting this person, and I guess it's kind of like almost like a snake, and he's like digesting this person, and it's like you see him, and you're like, and he's just like, don't shoot me.
I can't move for another 3 hours, so if you can hold on for a second, I'd appreciate it.
I'm a little busy. that was the grossest part of the movie. Was that I was like, whoa, oh my god, what was that? I have to watch it again. I'm weird like that, but I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was great. Had a great tone. Visually, it was great. I liked the monsters. I thought the monsters were done well. It was good.
I can agree with that. The monsters were done well.
Yeah,
I think one of the things that this suffers from for me is the Quiet Place syndrome. Like it just came out. I mean, this came out in 2024, so it was separated for a little bit from 1 and 2, but like day 1 had just come out not long before. And I think the Quiet Place, this is going to be a bold stand, I think. But the Quiet Place might be one of the top 3 alien invasion movies ever. For me, at least.
Yeah, it's good.
So having so many parallels between the two, just without a pregnant woman involved, kind of held it back for me. Especially when that pregnant woman is Emily Blunt.
We're in
The Quiet Place.
Yeah, you're talking about Emily Blunt?
Hmm?
Yeah. It sucks.
No, not a fan.
I love Emily Blunt, but it sucks to be pregnant like during that time. I'm just like,
oh god, yeah. Like, and to actually go into labor, Jesus.
Yeah. Fuck your life. Yeah, and she was quiet, mad respect.
Anyway. Yep. All right. So next, coming in at number 5 was Willy's Wonderland, which was the most middle of the road of these films for me. Like I'm not a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's. The games or the movie. It's not my thing.
Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff movie.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what it is. So, that's about all I've got to say about it, really. I mean, Nick Cage was Nick Cage in it. So that's something.
He didn't even talk.
No.
He just
but he had the same expressions the entire same
grunted.
Nick Cage.
He didn't really do anything. Yeah, it was like we watched that because we had someone we knew were like, oh my god, I love that movie. I've watched it like so many times, and I was like, oh okay. Then we watched it, and I'm like, I should have known then that was a red flag.
Yeah. I mean, it was again like it wasn't horrible. It wasn't so bad that I specifically remember bad shit sticking out about it, like the Wicker Man.
No,
but it's just, like why this movie didn't need to exist.
It didn't need to be made. Let's put it that way. It was unnecessary. We did not need Willy's Wonderland in our lives.
Agreed. I would say the same about every movie below this as well, actually. Now we're starting to get into the films that I enjoy.
Okay.
Yeah. I love 3 out of the 4. The fourth one
Let's
is
hear
still
it.
pretty good. All right, so number 4 is Mandy, which is a batshit crazy 1960s throwback cult revenge film on LSD. This is the only way I could explain it. I can't think of any other way to describe that. His wife was a member of a cult, ended up getting killed by the cult, I believe, and he goes out for revenge.
Yes.
So bloody Nick Cage with chainsaws and shit.
And his maniacal face. Oh, hey, Willy. What's up? I mean, this isn't any different than like any other, like, oh, you killed my woman, my family revenge movie.
Only from a visual standpoint.
That's
Like
the story.
What's that?
That's the story.
Oh yeah, but visually, this thing, like I don't remember who directed this, and I need to look because his style, or their style rather, is pretty fucking crazy. But they took like 1960s cult cinema and then just cranked the contrast all the way up. Like the colors in this movie are ridiculous.
Oh, that's the LSD comment.
Yeah, like the whole thing feels like an acid trip.
Oh, maybe he is tripping balls. Who knows?
He acts like he is.
Not surprised. That's his baseline, dude.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Play calm.
It's like, are you constipated? Like, what is that? Nick, what's going on, Nick?
Are you okay? Do we need a break? There's a porta potty over there.
I need a squatty potty.
My biggest complaint about this movie is that it's fucking long. It's over 2 hours, and it's literally Nick Cage walking around in a set lit by lava lamps, killing people. That's what it feels like.
Gotcha.
It's all neon and fluorescent. And it's crazy.
I saw that this was on your list. I was like, oh, I've never seen Mandy. And then I'm like, I'm going to continue to skip it.
Yeah. You have to be a fan of
Nick Cage.
Well, no, not even Nick Cage. Not even Nick Cage so much on this one. You've got to be a fan of like the 1970s road trip cult horrors, where it's just there's essentially their blood is just water with a red light going through it. Like it's just not realistic at all. It sprays everywhere. It's thin as hell. You shine a flashlight through it and suddenly it glows. Like it's an insane movie to watch.
Yeah,
absolutely insane movie to watch.
No, I get it. Yeah, like those 19 like the summer camp movies where they made a new one like every 6 months or something.
No, not quite that bad. Not quite that bad.
Are you sure? I think that's pretty much the same vein.
No, this isn't like a sleepaway camp or what the hell was the Axe? I get what you're saying. The Friday the 13th low budget follow-ups.
Basically.
Yeah.
They just tried to cash in on it.
Yeah, this is not one of those, but it's it can feel like it at times. I think it's worth a watch.
All right, Mandy, with her watch.
So number 3 is Renfield, which I absolutely love.
I really liked Renfield.
This is probably so as far
that was a fun movie.
As far as horror movies go, and yes, this is a horror comedy, and it's far more. I'm not willing to say it is more. What's that?
It's like a dark comedy.
It is, but the blood is
Little-
what pushes it into horror for me. This is
little
a
sprinkles of
gory-
horror.
this
It's
is
like
a
a dark
gory
comedy
movie.
cupcake with like sprinkles of horror on top.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm still counting it though because I love it. And
It's still. I mean,
needed
I think
10
they
Nick
put it
Cage
in
movies.
horror. Yeah.
I love this thing. I thought Nicholas Holtz was outstanding, and and the whole interdependent relationship angle. Like, who came up with that shit?
That he's in therapy because of the way he gets
Like, who
treated.
sat down? Who sat down in a writing room and was like, "All right, guys, I've got it."
That's what makes the movie so good, though. 'cause
Vlad the Impaler and his crony
that's what makes
are
it
in a
so
toxic,
good.
interdependent relationship,
Yeah,
and then he
that's what
just
I
drops
love
his
about
pen
it.
and walks out of the room.
That's what I love. That how he's in a like a fucking support group because of Dracula. Like, you know, because what was did he say something about like his promotion? Like he clearly has no intentions of like turning him into a vampire. Like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
just basically kind of like a ghoul. And yeah, but he's in this support group and it is hilarious. And then I love it when Nick Cage shows up to the
Oh.
support group.
He's so over the top as Dracula. Like, when I first heard they were doing this movie, they said that
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult was going to be Renfield. And I was like, all right, that works. Like, I can get behind that.
Okay.
And then they
Me
said
too.
Nick Cage is going to play Dracula. And I went, what the fuck are they doing? Like, this is either going to be the greatest Dracula adaptation of all time, or it's going to be Dracula Dead and Loving It,
Cool.
which I hated. But
I was a little kid. I liked those movies when I was little. I don't watch them anymore, but
try
They were
Blazing
pretty-
Saddles. It aged well.
yeah, I mean, there's some that don't. But I mean, when I was a kid, I used to love watching like Naked Gun and everything. I thought those were. I mean, they were fun. I was, I could wrap my brain around as a small child. But I love the fact that Nicholas Holt's character Renfield would like eat bugs and then he would get like this superpower. I love how that's the explanation of why he eats bugs too.
Yep.
I mean, there's just like so many things on here in that movie that if you were a Dracula fan, like clearly like probably we are, and they put like little like twists and stuff in there, and I'm just like, oh my god, I love that. That is hilarious.
It was great, and the gore I thought fit the movie perfectly. I was afraid they were going to go one way or the other, but when they like they played the violence straight, but they played the gore campy as shit, and I thought that was perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
only part I didn't like was Awkwafina.
Yeah,
she is not good.
She's getting a little overdone.
Yeah, like it was cute in Jumanji.
She's a great voice actor.
I could see that.
I didn't watch the second one.
You didn't watch? The hell was the name of that one?
Jumanji?
Yeah. I guess
I didn't watch
it's
the second one.
movie. The third one total.
No,
the second
yeah,
one with The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Where,
I didn't watch the second one with Kevin Hart and Jack Black and stuff. I didn't watch that.
Surprisingly good. It's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with one of the Jonas Brothers in it, it holds up pretty well.
I mean, it's pretty face value movie. They're all pretty goofy bunch, so take it. But but yeah, Renfield definitely like was one of the ones that I watched, and I was like, oh, they ended up being pretty good. I'm like, I liked it. Good job.
Yep.
Good
job. This one ranks up there as far as Nick Cage movies. This ranks up there with like Con Air, Face Off, The Rock. Like, even though this is a really like off the wall horror comedy, it's that quality of horror comedy for me. I love this movie, for better or worse. Maybe I just have shit taste in comedy, but this thing,
I mean,
I love it.
Whatever makes you giggle.
Tropic Thunder's in my top 3 comedies of all time. So if that tells
that's
me
pretty funny.
So is this
the best
one?
part? Yeah.
All right. So number 2 for us is potentially my favorite H.P. Lovecraft adaptation of all time. And I think this is where Jen and I are going to have the biggest disagreements.
I can't stand this movie. Go ahead.
Potentially. And this is Richard Stanley's Color Out of Space.
Oh my god.
So I'm going to let you kick this one off so that I can write down my rebuttal in debate form. And then we can just have people vote that you're wrong.
Your Honor.
If it would please the court.
If it would please, yes. So I didn't know this was an H.P. Lovecraft movie, like going into it. So I give it some small prop because I do love the H.P. Lovecraft stories in general. You know, one of the godfathers of horror, if you will. But just this the premise of this movie. So, you know, you got the meteor that falls into this family, like, what is it, an alpaca or llama farm? Like, I'm not even really sure what it is.
They're alpacas.
Alpacas.
You have any idea how expensive alpacas are?
Apparently they're expensive.
Very expensive.
Are you trying to buy an alpaca, Chris?
No.
Oh,
Amanda
okay.
would. We would buy an
Oh, I'm sure she
or a
would.
Highland cow. Either or.
And it's and like all these like weird things start happening, and it's just, I don't even really think there's like any like creature. There's just, it's just this light. That's weird. Now it kind of gives me a little bit of like Skyline vibes. You ever watch Skyline, where like the blue light is like hypnotizing people and everything? So kind of initially gave me like a little bit of vibes with that, but I was like, all right, I don't think we're going this route. But I think they lost me when that bolt of lightning came down and hit his kids and formed him into this really gross, like massive a person. And I was like, what was that? Like they're like conjoined twins now of something, like from Slither. No idea what it's like to be this hungry. And then I guess we find out that this color from space is changing its environment, and then I guess at the end of the movie you find that it's just secluded to that area on the farm, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just secluded right there. That's where the colorful light is going to live. I found it disappointing just because the actual idea, kind of interesting. Definitely the story lacked, in my opinion. I think they could have played it out better. Again, you know, it's one of those things where I think maybe it would have done better if Nick Cage hadn't have been in the lead. Because what?
You're done. Go ahead. You're hurting my heart. It's fine.
I know.
I'm prepping my rebuttal.
Dude, there's just some things that some actors can do. But I mean, he's already done so many crap movies so far in his career. And he admits it. Like, he does these things to make money. That's only like he just pumps out movies, and it's like you see him, and you're like, oh my god, and it's like you watch it, and it's like, really, dude, another one, like.
It's true. He's like Drama Van Damme.
Yeah, I'm like, you do so many movies. It's like, you know, you kind of wonder if he's just kind of going through the motions now instead of like actually trying to do like a good job. Again, I'm sure Nick Cage could watch this and he's dabbing his tears with his $100 bills, going like, whatever, bitch. You know, which is totally fine. Dude, again, you paid your taxes. Good job on you. But I just, like, to me, when I watch certain movies and they're talking about like aliens and everything, and it ended up, I was just kind of disappointed overall. Like, his acting was, and it just wasn't for me. Not my kind of like horror movie, if you will.
Fair enough. See, I love this movie.
Oh.
I love this movie. This was my third best out of the 10 that we talked about. One, I'm a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan. Always have been. Two, I like the fact that it's an alien, kind of, but they never tell you that it's an alien. It's just this thing. Like, there's no source of it. I mean, doesn't exist. It's just this scary shit that's in the well, right? Which is where one of his boys ends up living. I love the alpaca shit. I thought that was hilarious. I thought it was a good way to. So one of the bad things about Lovecraft literature, and really a lot of the movies too, the good adaptations, which aren't many, they're dark. Like it's dark and it's depressing the entire time. There's no levity. You're not laughing, right? When
Right.
you watch, well, in the 80s, if you watched it when it first came out, you would not be laughing watching um, Reanimator or From Beyond, right? Some of those adaptations. And when even going up into like 2005 with the Call of Cthulhu, which the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society did, and the Whisper in
Yeah.
Darkness, those are dark movies. There's not a lot of laughter, right? And I think Nick Cage, by being typecast in this movie, and I think he was typecast. I think they were specifically looking for someone who could play crazy in a way that was, you could believe that it was crazy, but you could also believe that it was crazy in a way that shouldn't be human, if that makes any kind of sense at all.
I guess I just don't like his crazy.
He does crazy better than anybody else.
I just don't like it.
That's fair. That's fair, I guess.
It's just too much. It's like his facial expressions are just too much.
See, I like his crazy and stuff where he's meant to be crazy. But like the Wicker Man, that was not an appropriate Nick Cage crazy.
The
Too much.
bees. The bees. Oh.
Yeah, he did the one thing that Robert Downey Jr.'s character in Tropic Thunder says you don't do. That's what he did in The Wicker Man. And it wasn't appropriate. I can't say the word. You know that. But you know what I'm saying. Everybody knows that line, right? But with like Color Out of Space, I think it was appropriate for him to take it that far. And I think it worked.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I'm just a Lovecraft fan. I'm a sucker for anything that gets it even close to accurate. And I think this, with all the updates that they made, and the little Easter eggs that they put in, like the names of his daughter. There's no daughter in the story. It's two sons.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing her in and naming her after a character from, I want to say the Call of Cthulhu, but it may have been the Rats on the Walls. Richard Stanley is a crazy ass director. He's done great stuff.
I believe it.
And hopefully we get something else from him. I mean, he did, I think, Repo, the machine opera from the 80s, I think was him.
Yeah.
He was supposed to do a new adaptation of The Island of Dr. Moreau. And there's actually a documentary out there called Lost Soul, The Doomed Journey of Richard Stanley's The Island of Dr. Moreau, that goes through that, and the guy's fucking insane. It makes sense that he would cast Nick Cage. Hardware in 1990 was the movie that he did, was his first one. But I think he killed it. I would love to see him do more stuff. I would like to see his version of The Island of Dr. Moreau. And I'd like to see him take on some more Lovecraft stuff. I think there's plenty of stuff out there that you can mess around with and be good at it. With or without Nick Cage. My Nick Cage speech became a Richard Stanley speech, and I apologize for that.
No, it's okay. I mean, I didn't cringe as much.
That's fair.
Dude, I can't with Nick Cage, man. I can't.
He's so good. The bees.
Not
the bees.
Not. He really isn't. All right.
Oh, he was great in Grease, though. No, I'm not no face-off jokes.
Actually, Face Off is like at his high though.
It was. He had a huge renaissance. Well, yeah, I guess.
Like, I mean,
he'd been
he had a
acting for
pretty
15
nice.
years there.
Yeah, I mean, he had a nice like arc there, and then it kind of like to me it fell off like after Ghost Rider 2.
I would say Ghost
It
Rider
just kind of
1
like went down
but
after that.
Ghost Rider 2 didn't do well either.
That's
Like,
what I mean. Look,
he had a hell of a
I
thing.
like
He
it.
had so he did what did he do? He did Con Air. Face Off was the first real big return, right? And then Con Air was in that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Rider was later, but still kind of in the same. And Leaving Las Vegas was in there, right? Like late 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah, but I think he started kind of going downhill in like around 2010, I think, is when he started kind of going downhill.
You think it took him that long?
Yeah.
Huh.
I
See,
think
I thought he
it's
went.
part of.
I was just saying. I thought he went downhill earlier than that.
No, I mean, and it's. I think that a lot of times I feel like you have like good actors, and sometimes I think some of that can be blamed on the directors because sometimes you have to do what the director wants you to do, right?
Yeah, that's true.
They don't get what they want. They want you to do it again. Don't do it again. I mean, there's some actors that lost their jobs because the director's like, "Nah, you ain't it. Get out of here." But, but I mean, he does like. Well, I mean, that's why I think he does the certain movies that he does is because that's what the director wants. They want that side of his acting that's like super over the top, like maniacal, like facial expressions and everything. Whereas. I think during those times he was working with probably more, I don't know, like not artistic, more talented directors who have a vision. They know how to execute it. You know what I mean?
But yeah, they can steer the ship.
Yeah, they do. They do a great job. But he started to me. I think after like the second Ghost Rider movie, he just for me he went downhill after that because he fucking bombed that stuff.
That's fair.
Like really, dude.
So you would consider the successes very much the exception to the rule when it comes to Nick Cage post like 2005.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Gotcha. Because he's done like just looking through his filmography and stuff. Because it got me interested when you said like Ghost Rider 2 being the fall off. It got me thinking as far as movies that I had seen him in since there, and I think you pretty well hit it on the head.
Yeah, because after that and then it's just like he had so many bombs one after another in the theaters that I think he just kind of lost that A status in Hollywood.
I think Left Behind might be the one that killed him.
It only takes one movie. I'm telling you, it only takes one bad choice in a movie for like some actors, and like it destroys their career.
Yep.
And look at Elizabeth Berkley.
To be fair, she didn't have a movie career before she did Showgirls.
No, but her career's done. I mean, it didn't even have a chance.
It never recovered.
No,
she came back for the college years, though, right?
I don't know.
Did she come back for the college years?
With watching Saved by the Bell at that point, I don't remember that.
I don't know. She was a regular.
I remember when they were in high school, but I didn't watch it much after that. I think I got a little too old.
I'd watch that shit now if they put it on. Like, here's the Saved by the Bell kids at 48 years old. Fucking sign me up. I want to know what Tiffany Amber Thiessen's doing.
She's still around.
Oh, I know.
She's still around.
I used to have a subscription to Maxim. I know.
She's too ridiculous.
All right, so that's The Color Out of Space. Probably it'll be the largest gap in mine and Jen's relationship for the next decade.
Ooh.
So. All right, not everybody has good taste.
Nope, they sure don't.
we'll leave that up to the audience to interpret. So, all right. So for both of us, this is actually the only movie on this list that we agreed with across the board, and that's Longlegs.
Well, we
directed by
agreed on
Arkadian.
Renfield.
We were close. From a number
really
standpoint, we were close. We did. We both liked it. We both really liked it.
Yeah, I liked Renfield. Longlegs.
Longlegs came in at number 1.
I was lied to.
How so?
Everyone kept raving. Oh, such a good movie. Such a good movie. It's got this many stars and blah, 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 blah. Me and my husband were like, oh, shut the on movies. Oh, we should rent it. It's like, I want my money back. I want my 2 hours or hour and a half, however long that painful movie was. I want my money back.
I take that back. This might be the biggest disagreement that we have.
Yeah. Can't stand that movie. Oh, so
Really?
mad. So mad.
So what were you expecting when you went into it? Outside of it just being an amazing movie, like what did you think it was going to be walking in?
Nick Cage's bad guy was not scary. He's completely white, painted himself white. He is not scary.
That's
at
true.
all.
He's almost clear. He's like the Larry Bird of horror movies.
Like Casper the Friendly Ghost is mad. Okay, got it. Like just to me, he wasn't scary. He was just like another psychopath out there. The only thing I kind of halfway liked about the movie, which if you noticed a trend with me, is I did like the like her powers, Mika Monroe's powers. That was another reason why I wanted to watch it, because I really like her. I did like her like kind of like clairvoyant ability and kind of like the supernatural part of it, but I think it just kind of did a wah, 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 wah at the end for me. I'm like, that was it. And it never really like what was he doing? Like collecting, like what was he collecting the kids' souls? Like what was the point of it? Like the dad was like killing the whole family and he's collecting, but their souls are trapped in these orbs and these dolls. And they're just kind of like a shell of a person now. So what is he doing with the orbs? They're stuck in these dolls. You know what I mean?
So he's supposed to be summoning He's supposed to be summoning the devil with the souls.
So that's what he was doing. But he said at one point he was the man downstairs. So is he the devil?
I think he was.
Like, is he a demon? Is he a devil?
I think
like,
he was the Antichrist.
Okay. Antichrist who paints himself white.
And then he needed souls to summon the devil. That's the way I took it.
Definitely played the long game there.
I agree. Yes.
Definitely did not take the easy route.
No.
Okay.
No. It's like having to run for the presidency twice. Too much? Let it die out. Fine.
But it didn't.
I'll cut that clip like we're cutting Social Security.
Who needs that shit? Right. Am I getting a refund? So I think at some points it's kind of like here's a good example. I'll tell you why I don't like it. M. Night Shyamalan Village.
Okay. I'll let you finish.
All right. I absolutely love M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Okay.
I love them. They are very good. I love the supernatural parts of it. I love that part. I was fucking mad that there wasn't real monsters.
Really?
Yes. I was mad. I'm like, there's not real monsters? That's
See,
it?
I loved that about it.
I didn't like it. That was not a twist that I enjoyed.
He goes And there was probably a gap here at some point, but he does this weird thing where it's like monster, not a monster, monster, not a monster, monster.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And he almost did that in Glass.
Yes.
I'm glad he didn't. He almost did that with Glass. And I was like, man. But he didn't. But I'm glad that ended up the way it did. But but that was part of the reason why I was disappointed in this movie, because I didn't feel like that guy was a monster. Like, I just thought he was like a psychopath. Like, that's why I was kind of disappointed. Like, there was a little bit of eerie, like, supernatural stuff, but then you're like, it wasn't even like mysterious enough to where I was thinking like it actually was supernatural. Like, it just kind of left me disappointed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I came at it from a different direction. Because I had seen all the, Nicolas Cage's best movie and scariest movie of the year and all this other stuff. And I put it off until I saw a lot of the hype around it disappear.
Okay.
So that I could try to go into it kind of blank.
Okay.
So when it started going down the Silence of the Lambs crime noir type movie, like a 90s serial killer movie, right? Along Came a Spider, Double Jeopardy.
Sure.
Basically anything with Ashley Judd and Morgan Freeman in it from like 94 to 98 is what I'm talking about. That's kind of the direction I took it at. And I thought it was really, really good in that aspect. And then the supernatural got thrown in. So for me, it was the opposite, right? I went in expecting this crime thriller, and I got a little bit of supernatural thrown in with it. It sounds like you went in expecting supernatural and getting a little bit of crime in it.
But I didn't mind the crime part.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying.
All right.
I guess I get what you're saying. I mean, I didn't approach it that way because it's not. I don't think that was. I don't even remember watching trailers for it. Like, I don't really remember. Saw one. Yeah, I don't know how they were trying to like sell it, but I
don't know that they did, which is a crazy thing for me, as successful as this was. Like, I don't remember seeing a trailer for Longlegs or an ad for Longlegs until it hit probably the festival circuit.
Yeah.
Kind of like The Substance. Like, I didn't know shit about The Substance either until it hit the festival circuit, and I started seeing people on, Twitter and Blue Sky or X, whatever the fuck we're calling it now.
Yeah.
On the socias, as the kids call it.
The book faces.
Right, talking about this movie, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. And they're like, Nick Cage plays a serial killer, and I was like, that sounds fucking amazing to me. And it was pretty damn good. I thought he played what he was cast to play very well. And I think Micah Monroe did the same. I thought she was very good as the detective.
Oh, I like her. Like, I think she always does a good job. I just don't think like Nick Cage's character was scary. Okay. He was more annoying than anything.
Would he have been scary to you as a kid? Do you think?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what scared me as a little kid. Actually, the demon guy off of Poltergeist. Remember, you finally saw him? What was his name?
Oh,
Kane?
Yeah. Coming out of the... Kane?
Yeah. Yeah, he was scary. No makeup. That's a creepy old guy. Yeah, that scared me. See? Simple.
Do you know how they brought him back for the third one?
No.
So the rumor is... So he died between the second and third movies.
Okay.
The actor that played Kane did.
Okay.
And the rumor is that they used a death mask of him to make a mask for basically a stunt actor to play him in the third movie. I thought that was insane. Like, it wasn't just a plaster cast that they had done for the second movie to do something crazy with it. It was a death mask.
Okay. Makes it even scarier now. Yeah. Like, to me, that was scary. Like, lighting special makeup, it was just like his presence was scary. Like, you have like certain monsters or people and they're just scary. They just have this presence. Didn't have that at all.
I think I worked for some NCOs like that in my day.
Yeah, it just, yeah. But to me, that's the person I can think of, like, being a little kid that scared me. Or like I've talked to, like, I think I remember a family member told me that, like, the Wicked Witch from Oz, like, scared them when they were really little. Yeah.
I had nightmares about that woman.
Yeah. See, it doesn't, I mean, granted, she's painted green and everything, but like, I guess whatever you find scary is very subjective, and I didn't find him scary.
Gotcha. See, I did. And I think a lot of it was because of the fact that it was mostly in the direction and the script, I think. The way he was shot and the fact that he didn't go on long, villainous monologues. He was mostly unseen for the movie. You really didn't see a whole lot of him.
No,
it was just the effect of it.
Yeah.
And when you did see him, there was no like 0 to 10, like sane to crazy switch like you got in, Color Out of Space or Wicker Man. He was just always unhinged.
Yeah.
But it was a controlled unhinged, which terrified the shit out of me. Because
Oh.
that, for whatever reason, that scares the hell out of me. Like someone who is batshit crazy, but is able to wrap it up in the calmest persona that you could think of.
Oh, you know
Terrifies
who? The Constantine. Oh, what is that guy's name?
Oh, Peter.
Stromberg.
The guy that played.
Stormhair. Stormare.
Yes,
I think
he was in John Wick too. Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yep.
Absolutely crazy. Viggo Mortensen. When he played Satan, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. Terrifying as the devil. So to me, on-screen presence. I understand what you're saying about that kind of like control crazy, where you're like, oh man, they could like very easily pop, like they're just yeah. But for me, it just wasn't scary. Sorry, the only thing we agreed on was Renfield, which was like the dark comedy.
It's a good conversation. And my big thing is like with Longlegs, right? Part of the whole appeal of the way that he played it for me versus being like just straight evil and creepy and Tim Curry from Legend levels of despicable kind of thing. Right. Is the fact that at the end of the movie you still don't know what's real and what's not. And Osgood Perkins is great about that as a director. Like, would he have succeeded in calling Satan? Is she actually psychic? By the end of the movie, you still don't know. I mean, you've got some clues, yes. You got some hints, no. But you really don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool throwback. Instead of just a neat little sewn up, like, yes, Syndrome is going to destroy Mr. Incredible and family type deal. It's a weird analogy, but I got there somewhere.
You're monologuing. You got me monologuing. All right. So what are our overall scores for all the movies?
So, working from worst to best, we have Pay the Ghost at the 8th best, These are averages of our 2 scores, 1 through 10, right? So it's not going to be.
Okay.
We have the Wicker Man and Prisoners of the Ghostland tied at 6.5. We have Arkadian and Mom and Dad tied at 5.5.
Oh, okay.
We have Mandy at 4, Renfield at 3.5, Color Out of Space at 3, and Longlegs at a flat 1. We both ranked that one number 1.
I think because we got our stuff switched.
Potentially. But we'll figure it out.
No worries.
Because I'm hoping there will be a next time, because it's been a blast. We don't get to talk to each other enough in real life. You're always working. I'm always working.
I know.
Our spouses are retired, but they don't communicate, apparently. And if they are, they're doing it behind our backs.
They do sometimes.
We should probably keep an eye on it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, work. Adulting sucks.
It does. It's a pain in the ass. I know this has been something that we've been working on for, Jesus, it's been 4 months since we did the Boogeyman episode for DFPN, I think. Which is the last time I was live with you guys.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of work, a lot of frustration, a lot of sitting back and finally just deciding, you know what, fuck it, let's just do it and see how it goes. And if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'll say from my standpoint that I think it worked outstandingly. I've had a great time talking to you.
Yeah, same. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, it's been good. So what do you got going on? Anything good, or just adulting it and parenting it and trying not to get arrested for punching people in the face? Because that's my goal.
Oh, I try not to punch people in the face, but if all can help. Yeah, we're trying to work on the new RPG that we have cooking up. I know we have some DFPN friends that are going to be going to GalaxyCon, so hopefully people can look forward to that and see what they got going on there. Yeah, I'm just trying to stay up to date with the new Daredevil series out. I just watched the last episode and it was awesome.
Yeah, I gotta binge that one and get caught up.
I'm hoping that then I won't make any further comments about it. It's been really good. I've really enjoyed it.
Good. I've heard good things about it. And the bad things I've heard are from people whose opinions I don't give a damn about. So.
Well, there's that too. It's building. It's building. It's definitely taken a different route, and I'm not mad about it. I think it's been good so far. So I definitely, if you're a fan of the series on Netflix, I definitely, give it a try. It's good.
Good. I'm a fan of Vincent D'Onofrio, so anything that man is in, I will watch and rewatch.
Oh, and he's totally embodies like Wilson Fisk and like the Kingpin. Like he's just so amazing.
Ever since Full Metal Jacket, and holy shit.
I like Men in Black too.
That's fair. I'm a big fan.
He looks a great cockroach.
Oh, what was the other one? With Jennifer Lopez.
That's such a good movie.
Where he played the serial killer and she goes into his mind.
Yes.
I
wanted more of that.
The horse. That's the one scene that always sticks out in my mind is the horse and separated out. I was like, holy shit, how do they do that?
Gross.
What? I mean, they really Sorry, I interrupt.
No, I mean, have you ever gone to the body exhibit?
I had a chance in Vegas and then I decided not to because I watched a Joe Rogan special like 2 weeks prior and he told me where those bodies come from allegedly and I couldn't do it.
Oh, well, I mean, I went because I was actually in college then, so it was actually really educational to go and watch.
I've heard it's cool.
Yeah. I think it's really cool, but they actually had I can't remember what they had sliced up, but I mean, you can slice something up like that. That's the weird part. Not alive, obviously, like the horse was. That's gross, but
yet, when we learn to run a body on Wi-Fi.
Happens when you're got a bad signal, like you only got one bar.
You only get like 2 ventricles working.
I
Maybe?
guess. Maybe.
Suck. All right. So for me, hoping to go to GalaxyCon next weekend. We'll see how it goes. If I run into folks, it's awesome. Shake hands, say hi. I plan on trying to get as close as I can to John Carpenter without having to pay an outrageous amount of money.
Might be worth
to
it.
see the man. Don't need an autograph, don't need a picture, just want to see him. Something about being around the director of the greatest horror movie ever made. And by that, I mean The Thing, for all you Halloween fans that are either clamoring or now shutting this thing down and calling me an asshole.
I'll take either one.
That's a conversation for another time. Because that'll be a long one. That's a long debate. But yeah, other than that, for folks that are listening and watching, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate your time. Hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, let us know why you didn't. But don't be an asshole about it. Otherwise, I'll just ignore your comment. But constructive feedback is always welcome. Other than that, make sure you stop by Dad Feeling Podcast Network, and especially the Queens of Nerddom, especially with them working on a new tabletop RPG. I'm excited to see that coming. And take it easy. Have a good weekend. And we'll catch up with you. I will catch up with you next month. I don't know if I'll be able to drag Miss Jen with me, but we'll see how it goes. Where we'll have another topic and another top 10, and we'll work through it and hopefully keep improving. So thanks, everybody. Have a good night, and we will talk to you later.
Night.